should have seen how we bought groceries. Now this was, my mother used to go every other day and buy groceries. I don't know, it was something like that. She would go all the time. She was always going to the Jewel to buy groceries. And my father was, writing the checks, and after a while he grew resentful. Like it was something my mother was doing. What are you doing with all this food? You're just writing checks, what are you doing? We'd all be sitting there watching this little argument, not really an argument, this debate going back and forth, because I've got a vested interest in who wins this. And it doesn't look good for Mom's side or my side. He's like, I'm spending too much on food. Oops. How is this going to go? I don't like this. But he says, I'm going to do the shopping from now on. Nice. Good for him. A smart man. If you want it done right, do it yourself. So, he came up with a system. This was great. He came up with a system. Everything we ever ate was there on these cards. And we'd write it down. And we'd go through, and then we would go to the Eagle. This is out in the Midwest outside of Chicago. The Eagle, and they were like a discount food store kind of thing. Before you had Sam's Club or Costco or any of those kinds of things, you had Eagle. But everything was still on the shelves, and it was just supposed to be discounted from the A&P or the Jewel or whatever it was. So we'd go along. My dad called up the manager. He said, my kids are coming. His theory was get everyone involved, or get anyone involved. So we'd go through the list, and we'd write down the price and how much we needed. 2 cases of Campbell's mushroom soup, cream of mushroom soup. And then the whole variety of soups. So we would put away like 5, 8 cases of soup. I remember this, especially the soup. You're picking that up, right? Because you know how at school they have those drives, and they were having this Campbell's soup drive. If you take a label off the can, you bring it in. I was always terrible at selling things. I couldn't sell chocolate bars to starving people, whatever. I was always terrible. But they said, bring in a label off a Campbell's soup and so many points for your school, and they can get overhead projectors. Remember those? Yeah. They'll be able to get an overhead projector, and so the nuns would come around. So, Mr. Williams, you want the overhead projector or no? Yes, sister, I want the overhead. Good! How many soup labels have you brought in? They weren't Nazis. They weren't. So I'm sitting there, and I go downstairs, and we got 7 cases of Campbell's soup. So I take off all the labels. Anyway, so we'd go through, and we would write down, I want a case of this, a case of that, again. And then we would go to the back of the store. They would just, when the truck showed up, they would just set our order aside, and we would fill one of those town and country Chrysler stations. Before they had minivans, we would fill a town and, you could fit 6 people across the back. That middle seat, you could fit 6 people across. I swear we could. Jammed in there. Days before seat belts. Well, were you wearing your seatbelt? No, but we didn't move anyway. We are literally packed in here like sardines. The old town and country. Now, in the town and country, that was a classic machine. That was beautiful. My father, driving to Florida, he could get that thing up to about 120 miles an hour. Of course, it took about a state and a half because it was heavy. You come out of North Carolina and you'd hit Georgia, and then you could get up to top speed. But it was heavy. But anyway, so we would fill that thing 3 times, at least 3 times with food, and then the other end we'd be taking it out, taking it out, taking it out. Who cares, right? Except there is one gem in this whole deal. We didn't get cookies. We didn't get. I mean, if we got cookies, we made cookies. Okay, so all we can make the brownies you're having, I made those. Okay, because I've been making brownies all my life. Since I was 3, I've been making brownies. Mom, is there anything to eat? If you make it. So on the list, we managed to sneak in chocolate chips. Do you know the feeling of having a case of chocolate chips on your shelf? It is absolutely wonderful. A case of chocolate chips. Now there's a little snack. You're up in your bed reading in the evening, and it's a great book, but you know, there's just something missing. It's that case of chocolate chips. And they're talking to you from the basement. Until eventually, after 2 weeks, Mom goes downstairs and says, "Hey, what happened to all the chocolate chips?" I don't know. Maybe it's mice. You'd have to learn how to deny, but I was awful at that. You know, I had one of those faces. Whenever I had done something, what happened to the chocolate chips? I don't know. I think Paul ate them. Paul hasn't been born yet. How can Paul eat them?